Have you seen Shannon's new dog?
In this episode of the Motor City Hypnotist podcast, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to call it mental health statistics. We're going to talk about trends. That's probably a better way to put it.
Sure.
Kind of what people are dealing with now, and have things changed over the last 20, 30, even 50 years?
I would say yes.
I was kind of thinking about this today, and I thought, mental health looks a lot different now than it did, let's say, in 1960.
I have a theory behind all that.
Yeah,
too.
and we'll get into that because I'd be interested to hear you as the layperson.
Mhm.
I'd be interested to hear your theory on that. That'd be fantastic.
I just came up with it.
And as usual, we're giving away free stuff. Hang in there, folks. We'll be right back.
This sounds like something for the authorities in Detroit.
Well, joke's on you. I'm living to 102 and then dying, like the city of Detroit.
Guys like this antique over here out of Detroit.
Spawn in the hellfires of Motown. Take him to Detroit.
No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
Stationed in Drambuie is worse than Detroit.
We did not have, as a unit, the confidence that we felt like we needed to beat Detroit.
Let's go to Detroit. Now you're talking, brother.
I don't think so. He plays for Detroit now.
Do they have many farms in Detroit?
Detroit. It's in Michigan.
I go to school. I know where Detroit is.
Get ready for the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright, originating from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. He has hypnotized thousands of people from all over the United States. David R. Wright has been featured on news outlets all across the country and is the clinical director of an outpatient mental health and hypnosis clinic located just south of Detroit, where he helps people daily using the power of hypnosis. Welcome, the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright.
What is going on, my friends? It is David Wright, the Motor City Hypnotist. We are back with another episode of the Motor City Hypnotist podcast.
How you doing, Clark?
Clark. Oh, sure. Got it. I was thinking Clark Griswold for some reason. I have no idea why, but
roll him up.
Yeah, we're here. That's Matt Fox, the other voice you hear. We're hanging out
Hey.
here in the Palatial Podcast Your Voice, Southfield Studios. Hanging out. Just finished the Man Cave Happy Hour podcast. If you guys want to hear an entertaining and fun podcast, jump back, go to the Man Cave Happy Hour site or Podcast Your Voice site.
There are rails, and then
Yeah,
there's things
sometimes
off rails.
Things go off the rails, but that makes for entertaining hearing, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
For the listeners. Yeah. Sometimes when things go off the rails, that makes the best entertainment.
So let's get off the rails real quick.
Yes.
Are you a hiker? Do you like to hike?
Not so much.
You listen to music though, right?
Oh,
so
I
if
listen
you were
to music all the time.
So if you were to go hiking, would you make a playlist?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you call it your trail mix?
No, don't shut me up.
What in blazes are you talking about?
But I'm bummed.
Good one. Let me tell you, folks, where you can find me. My website is motorcityhypnotist.com. We're in the midst of prom season. I just got back from Iowa yesterday.
Yes.
Left Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Got into Iowa at like 5:45. Checked into my hotel. Showtime at 1 a.m. Wrapped up at 2:10. Got back to the hotel and hit the road.
So you were on the road all weekend,
pretty much.
And then you hypnotized a couple of folks.
Yep. And then
you
got
came
back
home.
on the road. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm doing the same thing this coming weekend. Shout out to Creston High School in Creston, Iowa. Great group of volunteers. It was an odd thing though, Matt, because they didn't have a lot of kids as far as like the entire attendance, but they had I think I had 25 kids on stage, and there were probably only like 25 left in the audience.
Wow.
It's like half of them.
Wow.
So the volunteers were fantastic. They were great, but there wasn't that crowd reaction because there wasn't that many people in the crowd.
That was as many students in my kindergarten graduation class.
Oh, right.
50.
You went to private school. I'm just asking.
I
right?
actually did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Typically, if you
But
had
not-
like class sizes
not-
of 10 or 20.
Not until like the third grade did all that
I
stuff.
got it.
All right.
So
Go
anyway,
on.
yeah, but it was a great show, but again, it was just a little bit odd because I didn't have that crowd, the crowd
Sure.
involved like you do with most shows.
Right.
But
Well, because you've seen smaller groups. You've
Oh, yeah.
seen stadium size.
yes,
folks,
I've done shows with 3,000 people in the
Yeah.
audience. I've done shows with 20 people in the audience. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it's a different feel, it's a different vibe, but it's still good. It's
Yeah.
just different.
Yeah. It's a different. Vibe.
Yeah, it's a different vibe.
And you are a professional, and you're able to pivot your show and the performance
Mhm.
and the hypnotism that you do.
Yep.
To the crowd.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
you're a professional.
So the reason I brought that up is we're in the middle of prom season. So I know some of you might not have your entertainment booked. It's very possible. I just got a call. I'm not kidding. This past Friday, I got a call saying, "Are you available on this date?"
Mhm.
It was Woodhaven High School. I've done their show for
Sure.
10 years.
Okay.
And she said, "Oh, I hope you have this date available. I forgot to do it. They're going to really hang me up if I don't." And luckily I'm available on the date. So
Yay.
my point being
Crisis
is that
averted.
there are still dates open. Very few, but there are. So if you have a post-prom or grad night event that you want a hypnotist for,
Mhm.
now's the time. Just get a hold of me. You can have a quote in minutes. You can book within minutes as well.
Please.
To lock in your show.
Do it.
Social media, Facebook and YouTube are both Motor City Hypnotists. Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok are all Motor City Hypno. That is HYPNO.
Thank you.
And as we've done every episode going back to number 1, this is episode 356.
Dang.
Text the word hypnosis to 313-800-8510. In a few moments, you'll get a text with a downloadable PDF. It's a hypnosis guide that I've written. It's not a complete guide. It's a couple of pages, but it gives you the general information of what hypnosis is and why it works, and also dispels some myths and misconceptions. It's yours for free. You'll also get a link to my Google page. That's the hypnosis guide is great because you get that. But in appreciation for that, if you could leave a review, that would be fantastic. Reviews help a lot. And I know it takes time. It takes a few minutes. And I have to acknowledge I'm not great at this myself. I should leave more positive reviews.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And whatever platform you're hearing us on, join, connect, link, whatever it is on your platform, but also leave a review on the podcast platform itself. That helps us get out to more people.
Thank you.
All right. I think we got all the fun stuff out of the way.
Is that
Well,
fun?
no, we're not fun. We got more fun stuff coming up.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. That looks like a doozy.
That's how winning is done.
All right, looks like a doozy.
All
to me.
righty.
Here we go.
So this a lot of people in this area will, I guess, identify with this. We had some very severe weather last week,
Yes, we do.
especially on the west side of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Tornadoes,
Floods.
very damaging tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
An Applebee's manager who's been afraid of storms since she was a child, nevertheless stepped up to rapidly lead her staff and guests to safety as a tornado was barreling towards the restaurant.
Ooh.
It was a normal Friday at the Applebee's in Three Rivers, Michigan, when all of a sudden Aubrey McKenzie saw the weather service issuing a severe tornado warning.
Uh-huh.
That statement seems odd to me.
It does.
It's a tornado warning. I don't think they rank it as mild or severe. A tornado is a tornado. Yeah, it's a tornado.
When you
warning.
hear the siren,
it's going to be severe.
Yeah.
When we got the tornado warning, we were like, "Oh, there's no way. It's like beautiful outside." And then it turned serious very, very quickly. Mackenzie told Wilcox newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
It hit so fast and so unexpectedly. I'm glad that everybody was able to get somewhere somewhat safe, and all were able to walk away and tell their story.
And this was just over the past Easter weekend.
Yes. This is just in the last couple of weeks. At the time, the restaurant manager was leaving for the neighboring Applebee's location, and they discussed the tornado with Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
Both more or less came to the conclusion that they had seen dozens of tornado warnings come to nothing in their lives, and that it was a beautiful day. In short, they were ready to ignore it, but only for about 10 seconds.
It's a
I
funnel.
came back in and I heard everybody's phone going off, like blaring. Every guest, every bartender, everyone. Conditions were so obviously changing fast, and before long, she could see the funnel cloud outside. Admittedly panicked, Mackenzie tapped into that Friday night dinner rush spirit when any server or bartender has to stay calm amid the million things they need to do. Mackenzie asked herself, what do I have to do right now? And her response was quick and orderly. She led all the guests and staff into the prep kitchen where there were no windows. It was a tight squeeze, but it was her best chance of shelter.
Sure.
After everyone was inside, she peeked her head out one last time and saw that a man and his dog were sitting in a pickup truck outside the restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
As well as a boy on his phone who seemed like he was waiting for someone. She told the man and the boy to come inside immediately. I think he was waiting for his dad or something. I don't know, but I grabbed his arm and dragged him into the back, Mackenzie told Wilcox.
Yeah. You're
Then
coming with
the
me.
tornado hit.
Yeah.
Your ears were popping, but then you could also hear the glass shattering from the dining room. Exactly how you would imagine it would be standing in the middle of a tornado. Shattering, things hitting everything. It sounded like a freight train. The brick-built Applebee's held up, even though it took 4 days to clean up the restaurant, with the glass from the broken windows and spirit bottles finding its way into every conceivable nook and cranny.
I believe it.
New vacuums had to be bought, new carpets too, but not one single person was hurt. I was surprised that I was able to get everybody and and to be that organized in that short amount of time, she admitted. I've been called a hero a lot lately and I laugh it off, but I guess I did what I felt I had to do.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. That's it.
And she stepped up. She gathered her wits about her and said, okay. And she just formulated in her brain. She said, I have to do this. And this is what I have to do.
It's funny because I remember that day distinctly. It was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I remember
was it Saturday? It was Saturday. I think.
Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, because I was at work.
Yes.
And I left work in the evening right around 5 o'clock.
And
it was fine. When I left work, by the time I drove, I think I live like 6-8 miles from my office. I had to stop to get gas. So when I stopped at Kroger, I'm not kidding. The clouds were moving so fast.
Yeah.
It moved in. I could have counted 60 seconds and it was black.
Yep.
Yeah.
It moves.
It was
quick.
bad.
Tornadoes move so fast. You don't, until you actually witness the element itself.
Yes.
It moves so fast.
Have you ever seen a tornado?
Yes.
In real life, like
Yes.
not on TV.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I've always wanted to see one.
Really?
I do. It's just this thing in my head since a kid. Again, because, as kids, I'll have to say this. My mom, God bless her, she's been gone a long time, but she was she was neurotic about storms.
Yep.
Like if the wind picked up, we were taken into the hallway to sit. And then into the basement.
I was in Ohio at my uncle's house, and I was a young kid, and we were outside the backyard playing, and all of a sudden, everyone inside, and because we actually saw the funnel.
Wow. See, I just, like I said, I want to see one. I don't want to get close to it, but I want to view it. That's
we
one
all
of my
hunkered down in
things.
the basement, and we just kind of sheltered in place.
So,
for a few
but
minutes.
think about this. They were in a public space in a restaurant. Had she not wrangled them, would these customers have moved?
No,
they would have just sat there and kept drinking and eating.
They either that or they would have gotten their cars and left.
Well, that too. That which would be worse.
Sure.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
On Saturday, when the elements were coming through, the tornadoes were coming through, everyone's phones were going off with the tornado.
Yes.
Warning, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're in the suburbs. We're
Yep.
at an Imagine movie theater. We're watching Project Hail Mary. We went and saw that movie, and we're sitting in the theater, and we heard something, and it sounded like a siren, but I'm like, nah, that's the movie.
Oh, yes.
We had no idea that a tornado warning had been going on.
You know what's interesting, Matt? I've never thought of this. Do they stop the movie and make an announcement?
No, there was nothing was done.
Because think about that. If you're sitting in a movie theater and it's a 2-hour movie, probably.
Yeah. They tell you to silence your phones. People turn their phones
that's
off.
true.
So you're sitting in a dark room. There are no windows. You
No.
probably couldn't be in a safer place, but it's just so big you never know.
Right.
But it is a brick building
Yeah.
on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So
because I've never thought of that. Like if you're at a concert or a movie, yeah. Anyway.
So
anyway, good job for
so-
Mackenzie. Way to take charge. Get
Good
people stored away. Get them safe. Definitely winner of the week.
That's how winning is done.
Yes, it is.
So, back to it.
I'm just gonna wait for my dad here.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit out on the sidewalk and wait for my dad. He should be here after this storm passes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so folks, we're talking about. I wasn't even sure what to call this. I'm going to call this the state of mental health. How's that? Because I think that's a good descriptor of what we're going to talk about. And really, what I was kind of thinking about early today when I was coming up with an outline for this subject for the podcast. I thought, I wonder if mental health has changed, or I wonder how it's different, if it is different now than it was maybe, let's say, 30 years ago, or how many people are affected by mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people wonder, because I know when I have clients come in, and I always tell them that, listen, you're not alone. You're not the only person struggling with these issues, because people feel like in some ways that they're alone, that they're in a minority, that people don't understand. And a lot of times that stigma prevents people from seeking treatment because they feel like something's wrong with me. Everybody else seems fine.
There's so much research that and technology over the past, we'll give you 30 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Technology has changed so drastically. The drugs to help people through these mental illnesses have changed so drastically as well. It's more brain altering chemistry now than what we had 30 years ago.
That is true. There are a lot more ways to treat mental illness.
There are a lot of options, we'll say.
And I think, and we may get into that specifically, but I feel like there's more mental health or psychotropic medications now, partly because, and this is, I have no data to back this up, but partly because I think people have become more conscious of their mental health.
Yes.
and more people are seeking treatment than they ever had before, which enables these companies to produce different or better medications.
So 30 years ago, Dave, what were the major diagnoses that were being given to patients 30 years ago?
30 years is when I started. So just in my memory going back, honestly, it's probably similar to what we're seeing today with depression and anxiety. Those are like the two main things that affect most people.
So 30 years ago,
Mhm.
I'm depressed, I'm anxious, but there were so many underlying things to those diagnoses that we are now more attuned to in this day and age.
Correct.
Because yes, like you said, people are paying more attention to their mental health.
I could also say, though, with that, I agree with that, but I can also counter it and say there are a lot different challenges now than there were 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
As far as things that put strain on your mental health.
So 30 years ago, Dave, 30 years ago, you have a 13, 14, 15-year-old young person.
Yep.
And they are saying, I don't feel good. They're not motivated.
Yep.
They're just not getting out of bed. And 30 years ago, you'd be like, come on, let's go.
Quit being a lazy
Let's
bum.
Go.
Yeah, right.
Nowadays, because parents are, I don't want to say helicoptering their kids.
They're probably more aware of mental health issues.
So now
it's fair to say.
Yeah. So now when a child, 13, 14, 15 young person says, I don't feel well, and you can see them just not participating, not being
not involved.
They're not part of, any groups at school. They're not participating.
Yeah, they're not gregarious or outgoing or
it doesn't outgoing. It's just like you want them to still be, participate in society. You want your kids to get out there, play sports,
yeah,
and this,
sure.
But
have friends, go out.
But when you see your child just not, parents are paying more attention to that.
Well, and I will say a lot of the big difference between 30 years ago and now One is access and information. It's more readily available because of
absolutely,
the
yeah.
internet. We didn't have the internet 30 years ago.
Well, did we?
Well, infancy, let's say.
Sure.
You know, people are still dialing up on AOL and, connecting.
Do you still have an AOL account?
No. So let me tell you, let me just give you some information. In the United States today, as of today, 2026, 1 in 5 adults are living with a mental illness. That's 1 in 5, or about 23%
You say
of the population.
You say adults. So what's
Yep.
the age range of that adult?
I would say 18 and over.
18. Okay.
Yep. Now think about that. 59 million people just in the United States. We're just looking at our country. That, someone who has mental health struggles. It's your coworkers, your neighbors, your family, your friends. With that many people being affected, it's in your universe. It's in your circle. Even if you don't, somebody else is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, again, they struggle with this, and many times they don't say anything. So you might not be aware that they're struggling with it, but just be aware. People that are dealing with mental illness. And here's the thing, and this surprised me. In the United States, mental health conditions are the number one cause for disability claims.
I believe that 100%.
See, it surprised me a little bit because it's not as, how do I put this in a nice way? Companies don't want to pay for subjective diagnoses.
No, they don't. They need, it's not gray. There's no gray area.
Right.
It's black and white.
And that's why, and I'm just going to be upfront, because I have a lot of clients who are on disability. I have a lot of clients who are trying to get disability. And if mental health is the only reason, it is tough to get.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, even though that can be more debilitating than a broken arm, or
would you say because there are treatments for said mental illness, which is why they are so much tougher to get?
I'm just going to say it because I truly believe it. Insurance companies are biased. They don't want to pay.
No,
they want to make money. That's why they're in business.
Yeah. Pay your premium and we might cover you.
Yes. And that's this tough thing, because they seemingly undiscriminately can just deny claims. And I told you, Matt, the struggle that we're going through right now in my office.
Yes.
A major insurance company, Molina Healthcare, by the way, if anybody's listening, just to give you a heads up, thousands of claims taken back that were already paid.
Oh my goodness.
That's what insurance companies do.
Fuel to the fire.
Yes. And not only does this, well, it does a couple of things. One, it makes us not want to see people with that insurance because we're already getting screwed over. And two, it affects our business to help other people, even if they don't have that insurance.
Sure. And it affects you.
It affects
your
me.
staff.
It affects our livelihoods.
Yeah.
And again, it seems indiscriminate. And I know there's somebody back behind a desk saying, oh, we can take these claims back and recoup $160,000.
And it was all because of code. It was
all because of coding.
Code.
It wasn't a treatment issue. It wasn't and I wouldn't like it, but I could accept it if they came back and said, we reviewed 1,000 notes and it doesn't contain the treatment information we need. Or we don't feel like it was a valid treatment.
Right.
Now, again, even that an insurance company shouldn't be dictating, but
No.
at least that's a reason other than saying it was a coding issue. And here's the other, again, I'm going to get off on a little bit of a tangent, but here's the other frustrating thing. These claims that were taken back were from the end of 24 and all of 2025.
Holy shnikes.
Now, all of these claims were paid.
Right.
We received checks. We paid our therapists.
So
we paid our bills. And then they ask for it back. So the fact that they paid it for a year and 3 months before they said there was an issue.
Right.
It's the whole thing is just a cluster bleep.
My goodness.
And you feel powerless because
you're at the mercy.
You're at the mercy of them. We have to appeal. We have to resubmit claims. It's just so much more work.
That's a bunch of baloney.
So anyway, so let's get back on our thing. But mental health is the leading cause of disability right now in the United States. Here's the sad thing. data shows that only half of the people with mental illnesses receive treatment. So 50%, less than 50%.
Of the 59 million?
Yes.
Is that because the other half are not seeking it, or?
So the gap between those who need help and those who actually get it, it is a big challenge for people. In a lot of times, I can tell you some of the reasons. One, they either don't have insurance.
Sure.
Two, they have insurance, but it's not something we accept, or other clinics might not accept. Again, insurances, and it's just, we're going to do a whole episode on that, because I could talk about that for a couple hours.
I believe you.
But people don't get treatment. Either one, they can't afford it. Even with insurance, you have deductibles, you have copays. We're right in the beginning of the year. This is when everybody's deductibles reset as of the 1st of January.
Right. And you owe taxes.
And you know, and when people come in and they say, well, I have Blue Cross, I'm like, that's perfect. You have a deductible of $3,000. It hasn't been met.
That's out of pocket.
That's out of pocket
first.
And then they say, well, I can't afford that. I'm like, but that's what your coverage is.
Yeah. That's what you signed up for.
That's what your insurance covers. That's the whole point. That you have to put in this money first before it kicks in.
Don't you remember last year between November 1st?
See, people don't know shit when it comes to their insurance coverage. I hate to say it like that.
No, you're right.
But most people are like, well, I can't pay that. And I'm like, this is what your policy is. You can come to us. You can go to any other place. It's going to be the same thing. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean I have a high deductible health plan?
Well, yeah. Talk to your agent. Get it fixed.
What's an HSA?
I know. Again, a lot of it
comes with a high deductible.
A lot of it is lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I will give you that. Yeah. So again, huge numbers as far as mental health issues. So again, what are the most common ones? Matt, you asked that a few moments ago, like 30 years ago. What were the common diagnoses?
What were the most common diagnoses?
Anxiety, depression. Those two go hand in hand. And that really is the thing affecting most of the population right now.
So my theory, I'm gonna share this with you, and then we'll go over to the next episode here in a moment. But my theory is genetics. So your parents may have been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, blah, 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 blah. That carries over to their children, right? So nowadays, the theory is we are more attuned to our mental health because our parents dealt with it their entire lives.
Yeah.
Now you, as a recipient of their genes, now it's in you as well. It's wired.
It's hereditary.
It's hereditary.
Yeah, it is.
So
it can be. Yeah, just like physical health issues.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to see this get even more. We're going to get even more minutia. I would say in the next 15, 20 years, there's going to be so much more minutia. You're going to retire knowing more than you ever thought you would about mental health.
Absolutely. Just because of what I do.
Yeah,
for sure.
But we, as the human race, as the human being, we are going to continue to evolve.
Yes.
Now it's up to us to evolve so we can better ourselves.
Well,
right?
Sure, as a whole, but even with evolution, people need to be dragged along. That they don't,
knuckle draggers.
Again, half the people diagnosed don't get treatment.
No, they don't.
That's a problem.
They're diagnosed. They know they have it, but they don't get treatment.
Correct.
Because they can't afford it.
Correct.
Because it's too expensive.
Or even worse, Matt, they might not be diagnosed. They just know something's wrong and they're just not addressing it.
But we're talking about people who have been diagnosed.
No, right. That's true.
So people that haven't been diagnosed, that's because they're just either they're not attuned to their own mental health. They're just not seeing signs.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, they probably can't afford it, or they have insurance. They're just not using it to their fullest capability.
Right. Yep. So we talked about what is the most commonly diagnosed.
Go ahead.
And I can give you some statistics.
Yes.
Right now, the most common disorders in the United States are anxiety disorders.
Yep.
General anxiety, panic disorder, social anxiety, and phobias.
Is that because of COVID?
That probably contributed, definitely.
To the younger generation.
Probably actually that probably affected the older people more than the younger ones, I would guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I will say, kids and teenagers are fairly resilient unless there's severe issues going on. Once you're an adult, it's hard. You're kind of stuck in your ways. And
you know, the teenagers are high schoolers that went through COVID in high school. We talked a number of episodes back about the rite of passage of being in high school, and you know, prom and graduation. You know, these are life events that you go through as a teenager in high school, and those kids didn't have it. So those kids were very affected.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And then the senior population.
Yeah, well, seniors are again. I see my fair share of seniors, and again, mobility, transportation. Those are challenges for them, for many of them to get treatment. You know,
so there's a lot involved with this topic of what is the trend.
Yes, so anxiety is the most common. Followed closely behind is depression. As I said, they kind of go hand in hand. Here's a sobering thing though. 1 in 5 U.S. adults have been diagnosed with depression at some point in their lives. Around 5% of adults report current ongoing depressive symptoms. Now here's the big one. This blew my mind.
Okay.
In the past 10 years, depression rates have increased by 60%.
Wow.
Yes.
10 years. Okay. So
10 years.
So 2016, we're 2026 now. 2016 is when
COVID's right in the middle of that.
Yes, it is.
That has to be a factor.
But what happened in 2016? Did the bubble burst? Was it real estate? You know?
Well, no, that was 2008 when the housing crisis hit.
Okay, so peaks and valleys every 7-8 years. Okay, so it's in there.
I mean, and again, I want to be very careful when I say this. There was a presidential election in end of 2015 into 16.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Let's just say it's been challenging for a lot of people.
It has been I don't want to talk politics.
No, and that's not my point. My point is when you have something that seems stable and might not now, that can bring up mental health issues.
But 2016 to now, the last 10 years, and depression
60%
has risen 60%. That is a staggering.
It is,
as you called it.
That one blew me away.
That is a sobering number.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a sip of my drink.
Yeah, me too, because that may help. Just a little. I am not saying don't depend on it. Just just enjoy it.
So yeah, these I don't know if it's your math isn't mathing, but just look around you. The math is mathing.
It is. You can see it.
You see it. You feel it when you're out in public, when you're out at a concert, and you're interacting with other human beings. You don't interact with them. They're all there. You're all there for the same thing.
Right.
I was at a show this past Saturday. We were all there for the same thing, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I maybe said hi to 2 people.
Right. Because you're focused on the action that's going on.
I'm focused on but I'm just walking into the venue.
Yeah, right.
You know, people in line and trying to get to your seats, and the people that are actually interacting with you are the ushers taking you to your seats, and they're saying, enjoy your show. That's who you interact with. You say thank you. You think you're being kind, but there are thousands of other people that are there that just don't care who you are.
No, they just want to watch your show and go home.
Yeah.
But again, that is an issue.
Yeah.
Other than anxiety and depression, the other most common diagnosed issues are PTSD, which technically that could fall in the anxiety category.
It could.
Bipolar disorder, ADHD, eating disorders, and schizophrenia.
Wow. That's quite the list you got there, Dave.
And that pretty much covers probably, So as far as percentages go, if you look at a pie chart, anxiety is at 21%, depression at 18%, PTSD at 9%, and then a mix of everything else in the pie chart.
That's wild.
But really, anxiety and depression dominate that pie chart.
Yes. Eat your vegetables first, folks.
So we're going to keep going, Matt, because we're gonna get this episode in.
Yeah.
We'll if we just do one, we'll do one. So
okay,
let's talk about demographics.
All right.
Who's most affected by mental health issues?
Are we talking
Who's
age?
more likely to experience depression and seek treatment?
All right. So the
We can
first
talk age, we can talk gender, we can talk backgrounds, we can talk whatever.
What was the first part of your question?
Who is most affected? Who is more significantly likely to experience depression and or seek treatment
In this day and age?
Yes.
Right this
as
moment.
of today?
I would say adults from 28 to 45.
Okay, I don't have it broken down specifically to that age range.
All
But
right.
women definitely are more likely to experience depression and to seek treatment.
Okay.
57%.
No
Women,
57% of women.
42% of men.
Okay.
If we total. So 50% of women with mental illness receive treatment as opposed to 42% of men. So a minority of men receive treatment if they have something. A vast majority of women seek treatment when
Sure.
they have something.
Huh.
So, but that's kind of been the case since I've been doing this, and probably going back to the beginning of history.
Well, it's because
Women have always been more in tune with their emotions.
Yeah, that's exactly the
Right.
stent I was going to
Yep.
say. Yes.
Yep. So now let's move on. Well, before we move on, I got to throw a couple of sobering statements about men specifically. Men are less likely to seek help, and men are more likely to die by suicide
That's sobering.
as far as statistics go,
Because they didn't seek
because they
help.
didn't seek help. Right. So we're talking about ages,
Mhm.
because you put an age range to me.
Yep.
Um,
And I said 28 to 45.
the highest age range for mental illness is 18 to 25.
What?
Yep.
I'm sorry, my mind is
No. And actually that as a clinician, that makes sense to me, because especially now, and again, I don't want to bore you with numbers and do pie charts and all of that, but being an adolescent today is much tougher than it was 20, 30 years ago.
You don't say.
Yeah. I'm just saying that there's so many factors playing in. And we may have done an episode on that. Oh, we did on the quarter century crisis. We did do that. So this age range is very susceptible.
30 years ago, I was in my 20s.
I know.
Take me back another 5 years.
So here's the thing. Young adults, 18 to 25, have some of the highest rates of mental illness, yet they're less likely to receive treatment than people over 25.
That is that seems upside down to me.
Yeah, it does. And it even says in the data, paradoxically, they're less likely to receive treatment.
That is upside down.
Yeah, it is.
Because you at 25, you're starting your life, you're finding your career, you have insurance now.
Mhm.
You should be more in tune to taking care of yourself, right?
Yes, you would think. Yes.
It seems upside down.
And again, the data also shows, again, depression and anxiety among adolescents is spiking. Rates have increased significantly over the past 10 years.
Mhm.
Here's the other thing. Where you live matters. Geography plays a part.
Oh yeah, your zip code definitely definitely spells out what your health is
and
like.
we know this. This comes with even just physical health issues.
Mhm.
People who are living in rural areas are more likely to have higher rates of anxiety and depression than urban populations.
When you say rural, you mean, you have a farmhouse and then the next the next place is 500 yards away.
Like you're not in an urban area or a suburban area.
Suburban, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
You're in a rural area. And really the problem with that is limited access to care is one.
Sure.
Typically in rural areas that they're typically less socioeconomically.
Sure.
So economic stress and again, living in a rural area, there's social isolation. It's kind of built in.
Yeah.
But
that's the life that sometimes that you choose.
True. But sometimes choices are not great.
Sure.
I mean, so, and again, you and I are thinking the same thing, Matt, because again, you asked the question earlier. So why are they increasing? Why are these rates increasing? So there's a lot of overlapping factors, and all of these probably play in to some extent. Number one is increased awareness. So a lot of times people are Whereas before they said, they might have said, just a random example. Somebody 50 years ago might have said, I've just been really sad over the past 6 months. Somebody now knows exactly what it is because they have access to information at their fingertips.
Right.
The information's there. It's right on your phone.
What was that? I was watching an episode of Chicago Med.
Yeah.
And a young lady came in and she was pregnant and she's on her phone and she's typing in all of her ailments that she's got going on, her symptoms. And she's like, I either have this or this. And it was two freaking extremes.
Yep.
And the doctor, God bless you, he's like, well, why don't you just let me do my job?
Well, and again, that is a challenge. People become their own
diagnostician,
their own physicians.
Yes,
yeah.
Diagnostic physician, whatever we want to call it. Yeah.
So yes, definitely increased awareness, social and economic stress, as far as like housing insecurity or job stress that can happen. And again, this is it's right in the data. Post-pandemic issues. Mental health has declined significantly since COVID-19. Fewer than 30% of Americans rate their mental health as excellent since COVID-19 hit.
Okay. So
less than 1/3 of the population feels like they're in excellent mental health.
So I'm sorry, man. I don't take offense to that. It's a state of acceptance. I don't accept that I had to go through that almost, and just it happened. Move on. And it's just, that's the layman in me saying, just move on.
Sure.
It happened. You went through it. You survived. What's the next step to thrive?
Well, the whole theory behind it is that if you were an adolescent or young adult during COVID, that you probably missed out on formative experiences.
Right. We just talked about that.
We did do that. Yes.
But for the adults in the room, right?
But again, to be fair, because I'm coming at it from a therapist viewpoint, because I can tell them, for example, I will have clients come in that will come to me crying, like breaking down, and I'm like, well, what is it that you're sad about?
I just shot JR.
Well, come on. Well, and they may say something to the effect of, well, I can't get over my mom passing away.
Okay.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, did this happen last week or last month?
Yeah.
10 years, 15 years.
See,
but that shows something's wrong.
Yes.
That in and of itself is a symptom.
There was a step in the grief process that was missed in the past 10 years.
Yeah. So again, I'm not criticizing these people. It's just that's where they're at. They don't know how to get past it, which is why they're seeking treatment.
So, okay. So to go back, people that consider themselves in excellent mental health, what was the percentage on that?
30%.
Okay, so it's not 29.
No.
It's 30. It's a third, almost a third.
Almost a third.
That's good, but it could be so much better.
But I could state, well, you're right, Matt, because I can state it a different way. A vast majority of Americans are having mental health issues.
Yeah. 59
vast
million.
Majority. Yeah. 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be going through a crisis right now.
I go, and here's the thing, folks, crises come and go here. And I want to stress this. Certain times present certain challenges or different challenges. And you may suffer from depression. I've been depressed in my life. I've had anxiety issues in my life. But it ebbs and flows. It's now there's certain diagnoses that are kind of permanent. Something like if you're diagnosed and you actually have schizophrenia, that's a chemical issue. That's not just going to go away.
Sure.
But certain times, if it's situational depression and anxiety, those are the things that we can really work on.
Situational, aka life happenings, things that happen in
stressors,
your life.
events, trauma.
It could be, loss of job. It could be divorce.
Could be loss of job.
It could be loss of spouse, loss of parent. There's a lot of triggers, right? But it's how you deal with, your own thoughts and,
Well,
and how
and
you
that-
react.
Well, and that's the whole thing. And you guys, we probably said this here. The end of the podcast, every podcast, change your thinking, change your life.
Yeah.
Your thinking is what drives everything.
Sure.
And that's what mental health is. It's changing your thinking.
Hmm.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Of the 70% of the population in this country that has mental health struggles, only 50% seek treatment. And about here's another data that just throws me for a loop.
Okay.
14%, only 14% have received therapy in the past year.
So they've actually spoken to a psychiatrist, a hypnotist, a
therapist,
you know,
social worker, whoever's providing mental health services. Yeah.
That is
only 14%
of the 50.
Yeah. Yep.
Why? I just that's the biggest question of
barriers include cost,
okay,
stigma, lack of access.
I sit back and
but see, these are, and this is what drives me crazy, Matt, because I can see the frustration in your face, and I feel the same way because I do this for a living.
Yes.
Cost, stigma, and lack of services have always been an issue. That's always been a challenge.
Correct. But with a BU freaking T, the resources are there. It's the lack of knowledge to know what to look for.
Yep.
And these folks that are being diagnosed, when they decide, or when they're diagnosed and they're saying you have X, Y, and Z, there should be more information that's given. If you're not able to afford, because the cost of this treatment, you should potentially look at this resource, which is part of a budget within the county or the state that you live in. Though that's what's missing.
Well, no, absolutely. And again, we circle back, even people with great insurance coverages. Maybe you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but you have to pay a $3,000 deductible. Well, it's prohibitive. Healthcare is prohibitive.
That's why you would need to understand what your coverage is. If you have coverage,
yes,
understand I've used this word already, the minutia of your coverage.
And
what does it actually cover?
But here's the other thing that happens, and I can.
Oh, you mean you're not going to cover it?
No, we are. But here's what also happens. Again,
the insurance
somebody
company
comes in, they realize they have a $50 copay, or they have to pay $175 to meet their deductible. Well, I can't afford that, so they leave and they don't get treatment, and they never come back. So there's challenges all the way around. It's more than awareness. It's getting people access. That is an ongoing challenge.
You know as well as I do how many free resources there are. They've become a little more limited because budgets have been cut.
Yep.
Money is no longer there at the moment.
But now that you said that, I will say because we have resources. Like a lot of times when people come to see us, it's like, we do outpatient therapy. You need a little bit higher level of care.
Sure.
You need to be in an intensive outpatient or even maybe inpatient, but based on what's going on. But even getting to that, the services are so scattered and rare and again, cost prohibitive.
I saw a news story, and I'm gonna give away my age here. We were watching 60 Minutes last night.
Oh yeah.
And there was a news story about folks that suffer from arthritis and they need to see a rheumatologist. Do you know how long of a wait it is just to get an initial appointment with a rheumatologist?
My wife has a rheumatologist. She's had one because she has psoriatic arthritis.
Sure.
But it took her months to get in.
Just for the first appointment.
And many, like I'm talking, I'm guessing, if she's listening, she'll correct me, but years to get medication correct.
Yes. There is a
trial and error,
and that is very frustrating for the patient and for those that are supporting said patient.
And then not to kind of add to the story, but her rheumatologist passed away.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, of course. But he was a great guy and she liked him, and now she had to start over and find a new one. And it's that same, it's really,
but
we're gonna get into insurance stuff at some other episode. I want to do that because there's so much to say about access and getting things done.
But there is a shortage of rheumatologists in the world.
There's a
in the
shortage
country.
of all specialists.
There really is.
Mhm.
So my heart goes out to the younger generations because they're the ones that need to kind of step up and say, okay, I need to learn. I want to learn this. There's no passion. And that's what's really getting at me is that I don't see a passion behind the younger generations. And I'm talking your middle schoolers and how they treat, one another. And you hear the stories in schools and blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah.
But we have to be very, very careful. We're walking a very thin line as a race,
as a society,
right.
Yes.
As a human being race.
Yes.
I mean, everyone included. We're walking such a fine line. Something's gonna burst like the real estate bubble.
Yes.
Right?
No, you're right.
And
exactly.
We're gonna.
It's not sustainable long term.
No. The path that we're going down right now, it's very, very difficult.
And let me kind of just piggyback on that because this is the main point of talking about all of this data. Because again, it's for those of you listening, oh, that's a bunch of numbers. Yeah, it sounds bad. But here's the thing. Here's the hopeful part. Mental health conditions are treatable.
Yes.
You can manage them. And oftentimes you can have full relief of the issues that you're dealing with. Now, again, unless there's a very chemical induced diagnosis like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder.
Sure.
That's different. But most conditions are treatable and manageable. And the more we talk about them, the less stigma we attach to it and just make it seem as normal and as healthy as we can. It's going to help people be more seek out treatment more often.
And those people have to be accepting of that diagnosis. I'm going to get a second opinion, right?
Well, and so here's the thing, and let me give you my little 2 cents is diagnoses. I hate diagnoses because people will take a diagnosis and they will latch themselves to it, and it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in times.
You think?
Yeah.
I have to agree with that statement.
People will come to see me, for example. This has happened so many times. I mean, it doesn't even have to be specific because it happens fairly often. Somebody will come to me and say, "Oh, I'm bipolar."
Are you?
Okay. Well, first session, sit down. Oh yeah, I've been seeing a therapist for years. I've been seeing different therapists for years. I was hospitalized in this day. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I'm like, okay, well, how long ago was that? Oh, it's about 30 years or so, 25 years. I'm like, well, let's talk about what's going on now. That's good information for me to have, but I want to talk about what's happening right now. And many times, Matt, they will tell me what's going on, and honestly, I don't see the bipolar. I don't see that as a diagnosis. So a lot of times people they'll hear something once and kind of assume that's them. And again, it's the psychological thing in our heads where, oh, if I'm that, I guess that's what I am. And
it becomes their full-time job.
And they become accepting of it in a way. Now I'm not, for some people that is the case. For some people, yes, you were diagnosed 30 years ago. You still are bipolar. Because if you truly are, it doesn't go away. But that's why I hate diagnosis, because you're labeling somebody based on a snapshot in time. It could be accurate, but it might not be. But once you give it to someone, they're going to hold on to it.
There's always something that underlies a diagnosis.
Of course, there's all kinds of things that influence it and affect you and again, I think back to when you were 20. I don't think like I did when I was 20 now. I've evolved, I've changed, I've grown, I've learned, I've experienced. So just because you were in a certain space in your life at one point doesn't mean you're always going to be in that space.
Sure.
But that's what getting help is. It's deciding I don't want to live like this. I don't want to feel like this anymore, but I can do something about it.
I was given some advice by an individual years and years and years ago. And, there was financial troubles, you're young, you're 20s and you're enjoying life and you're working full time, but you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
And you have pets and you've got rent and the advice was you need to change your lifestyle. And I didn't understand that when it was told me, when they said that to me. And I said, Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Drastically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what they meant.
Yep.
But I changed it in a totally different way than what they initially thought
that you should be right.
doing, which is kind of funny. It still worked out.
But this theory, that approach in some form or another has always been around. Most people don't attach themselves or follow it.
Mm-hmm.
There's any financial course, and you're in finance, Matt, you know this.
Yeah.
That there's one guy I follow, and he calls it it's a very unusual term for it. I think it's knives and butter.
Never heard that.
Yes, and it's two categories. Butter. I'm trying to think if that's even right or not, but it's the must-haves versus the wants.
Oh yeah.
That's all it is. But it's a different terminology for it.
Yeah, you have the needs, you have the wants,
yes,
and then you have the savings,
yes.
So the needs have to outweigh the needs are important.
But most people do not differentiate needs from wants.
Yeah.
They just want, and they think they need it.
Do you need that $200 pair of shoes every single month?
No, but you want them.
Do you need to have a roof over your house, or do you need a pair of shoes?
I have a car.
Don't get me started.
No, I know.
Don't get me started.
I'm just throwing some shit at Matt just to get him riled up right before we
Do you know how many people are living in their cars right now?
Right, exactly.
Because their car payment is the same as a fucking house payment.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just that. Yeah.
I said it.
My car payment's $1,200 a month. Really? No way.
What are you driving?
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's again, a lot of these things, but here's the challenge with mental health. It is treatable and manageable and preventable in many, many cases, but you have to put in the work. You have to make changes to get change. That is the key thing. So here's the thing. The more we talk about this, the more we get out, the more you talk about it to other people or see a professional. That is the main thing. Take action.
Yes.
Take action to get yourself in a better space. I don't care what it is that if it's depression, anxiety, PTSD, grief, whatever it is, get some help with it. That's what we're here for. It exists for a reason, folks.
Yeah.
There are therapists in the world to help.
Yeah.
Go and see someone.
Did I ever tell you the story about my mother and her psychology professor course that she took in college?
You might have. It seems vaguely, it's kind of ringing a bell with me.
So this big exam coming up, and she had studied, and the psychology professor was very well versed, and he went through a lot of stuff through the entire text and really grinded the students through everything. And they came to the final exam, and the question, she studied all night long beforehand, and the question on the board when they walked into class was covered with, like a map, right? Yeah. And he said, all right, here's your final exam question. He raised it up and it said, why, with a question mark. My mother was so pissed that was the question for the final exam. She sat there steaming, wrote down, why not, turned it in and walked out, aced the class.
Okay.
Meanwhile, all the other students are writing everything based on this research, blah 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 blah, from the text. They spent 2 hours. She was there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and sometimes the easiest answer is the right one.
Yeah,
and that goes with mental health too.
Yeah,
sometimes the easiest process is the right one.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
it happens.
No,
it happens.
right.
You need to accept it.
Sure.
Take the steps to get better.
well, and that is the big thing because but here, and I would say this as far as if you're having chest pains, you probably should go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. But people even ignore that. Mm-hmm. Even with your physical health, people ignore symptoms.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
I was doing yard work a lot yesterday.
I know you got sunburn.
Yeah, I got sunburn. Holly and I, we both got scratches all over. She looks terrible. She really got
chewed up.
She got chewed up.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I was underneath the bush, cutting off roses of Sharon branches that had grown where they aren't supposed to be. And I'm on the ground underneath the bush, and I'm cutting away, and I stand up, and I'm like, that don't feel right.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, all right, whatever.
Okay.
What'd I do? I worked out today. It's all good.
all
I'm
good.
fine.
It's all
I'm
good.
fine. I'm a guy. What do you want?
Alrighty, folks, that is we're actually going to come back. I know this was a long episode. Typically we do 2.5 hours. This one was an hour. It's okay. We wanted to get through this, but we are going to come back with a part 2 on this because I want to give you some more stuff.
Oh, there's more.
Yes, there is more.
I love it.
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
bring it,
So we're
buddy.
going to do a part 2. It might not be an hour, but it will be another episode.
Sure.
Before we leave,
All right. Do we want to do 2 or just 1?
we can do 2 since
Okay.
we're here.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm going to save that one.
Okay.
First one, Roger.
Roger Dodger.
Roger the dog.
Wait. Look at. Okay, I see Pity. I see Beagle.
Bulldog.
It's a
mix.
bulldog.
It's a bulldog mix.
There's Pit in there.
There is some. So
He's adorable.
born a year ago, February 25, little over a year.
Puppy.
Bulldog mix, male. He'll be 60 pounds. Dog friendly, selective, cat unknown, kid friendly. Yes.
Okay.
Activity level medium.
Yeah. That's a
So Roger needs a home.
That's a-
DetroitDogRescue.com/adopt.
Roger. I love that.
I love dogs with human names.
Yeah.
It just makes them more personable.
Roger.
Okay. And our second one, somebody else needs a home.
You know, wait. Before you do.
Yeah.
Roger. There was a movie.
Roger.
The movie
What's your
called
Clarence?
House. With the actor.
A movie?
A movie called House. It was the actor from The Greatest American Hero. It was a horror flick,
Oh,
but a comedy at the same time.
Hmm.
Look it up. It's
Okay.
hysterical, funny as shit.
okay. It's called Roger.
And it's called House.
Oh,
But his character was named Roger.
got it. Okay. Hazel needs a home.
Hazel.
Born July 2019, so
Okay.
probably about 7
years.
years old or so.
Almost.
It's
Yeah.
a mini Schnauzer mix, female. She's 12 pounds.
Okay.
Dog friendly, yes. Cat friendly, yes. Kid friendly, over 12.
Okay.
Um,
Hazel.
she prefers female human friends.
Okay.
I've never seen this on on one of these yet.
Me neither. Look at her. She is set in her ways already. She
Look
just
at that.
she is set in her ways.
I just saw that and I thought, oh, somebody needs to pick Hazel up.
I love
Here,
it.
look at that.
Yeah.
Take a closer look, Matt.
She looks like she went to the salon
I know,
last
just
week.
yeah.
She got her updo. She's adorable.
I
That's
know.
great.
This one just made me smile, which is a good thing. Hazel needs a home.
Yes, please.
Come on, please go get her. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
All right. DetroitDogRescue.com/adopt. All right, so, folks, that's our show. We're going to be back next time with mental health. I forgot what we titled it.
Mental
but
health trends.
Let's
in
call
quotations.
it. Something like that.
Yes.
But we're going to come back with part 2 of that next Monday. Same time, same bat channel, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Motor City Hypnotist Facebook page if you want to join along.
Thanks, Clark.
All righty, guys. That is our show. Change your thinking, change your life, laugh hard, run fast, be kind. We'll see you next time.